NHL Historic Draft Simulation number 3. In this episode, I will have a major makeover of the rosters and then simulate 3 seasons using the rosters. The draft order is determined by a random number generator and won't be a snake format. NHL Scramble Draft Round 1. Calgary Flames Draft Wayne Gretzky. New York Rangers Draft Gordie Howe. Winnipeg Jets Draft Dominic Hasek. Buffalo Sabres Draft Alex Ovechkin. Colorado Avalanche Draft Mario Lemieux. Toronto Maple Leafs Draft Mark Messier. Boston Bruins Draft Marcel Dion. New Jersey Devils Draft Bill Esposito. Hartford Whalers Draft Ray Bork. LA Kings Draft Paul Coffey. St. Louis Blues Draft Jaromir Jagr. Vancouver Canucks Draft Ryan Trottier. Pittsburgh Penguins Draft Luke Robitaille. Philadelphia Flyers Draft Peter Stastny. Washington Capitals Draft Adam Oates. Edmonton Oilers Draft Brett Hull. Montreal Canadiens Draft Terry Sawchuk. Chicago Blackhawks Draft Doug Harvey. Dallas Stars Draft Mike Modano. New York Islanders Draft Guy Lafleur. And the Detroit Red Wings Draft Maurice Richard. NHL Scramble Draft Round 2. Detroit Red Wings Draft Bernie Federko. New York Islanders Draft Connor McDavid. Dallas Stars Draft Dale Hawerchuk. Chicago Blackhawks Draft Sergei Fedorov. Montreal Canadiens Draft Evgeny Malkin. Edmonton Oilers Draft Brian Leetch. Washington Capitals Draft Rob Blake. Philadelphia Flyers Draft Scott Niedermayer. Pittsburgh Penguins Draft Ken Dryden. Vancouver Canucks Draft Henrik Lundqvist. St. Louis Blues Draft Carey Price. LA Kings Draft Jacques Lemaire. Hartford Whalers Draft Paul Kariya. New Jersey Devils Draft Chris Pronger. Boston Bruins Draft Eddie Shore. Toronto Maple Leafs Draft Borje Salming. Colorado Avalanche Draft Daniel Alfredson. Buffalo Sabres Draft Glenn Hall. Winnipeg Jets Draft Erik Karlsson. New York Rangers Draft Brent Burns. And the Calgary Flames Draft Duncan Keith. After the draft, a few trades are made. Boston Bruins trade Alexei Kovalev and Henrik Zetterberg to the LA Kings for Steven Stamkos and Ricky Leach. Chicago Blackhawks trade Ted Kennedy, Dean Prentice, and Andy Mogg to the Buffalo Sabres for Rod Brindamore, Marcus Naslund, and Tom Barrasso. New Jersey Devils trade Dennis Savard and Earl Seaver to the Montreal Canadiens for Roman Josi and Alex Delvecchio. Winnipeg Jets trade George Hainsworth, Manny McDonald, and Tom Steen to the Washington Capitals for Mike Louette, Pavel Bure, and Dale Hunter. The changes made here will have a major impact on the next simulation. In first place in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks, Edmonton Oilers, Chicago Blackhawks, Winnipeg Jets, Dallas Stars, and LA Kings. Missing the playoffs in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Detroit Red Wings and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Prince of Wales Conference are the New York Islanders, followed by the New Jersey Devils, Hartford Whalers, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, Buffalo Sabres, and Philadelphia Flyers. Missing the playoffs in the Prince of Wales Conference are the Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, and Boston Bruins. The New Jersey Devils win the Stanley Cup in 6 games over the Colorado Avalanche. After the season, a few trades are made. Boston Bruins trade Peter Bondra, Bill Cowley, and Bill Quickenbush to the Pittsburgh Penguins for John Tavares, Bobby Rousseau, and Brooks Orpin. Detroit Red Wings trade Martin Brodeur, Vladimir Tarasenko, and Vladimir Konstantinov to the Buffalo Sabres for Mark Recchi, John Klingberg, and Glenn Hull. Montreal Canadiens trade Turk Broda, Teppo Numminen, and Kenny Roran to the Edmonton Oilers for Curtis Joseph, Tyler Seguin, and Daryl Sador. St. Louis Blues trade Tiny Thompson, Keith Tkachuk, and Alexei Zhitnik to the Vancouver Canucks for Quinn Hughes, Patrick Marleau, and Chris Osgood. Toronto Maple Leafs trade John Carlson, Ryan O'Reilly, and Slava Kozlov to the Colorado Avalanche for Doug Gilmour, Steve Shutt, and Kevin Hatcher. The changes in the offseason will have a major impact on the upcoming simulation. In first place in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Calgary Flames, Detroit Red Wings, Winnipeg Jets, Chicago Blackhawks, Edmonton Oilers, Vancouver Canucks, and LA Kings. Missing the playoffs in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Dallas Stars and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Prince of Wales Conference are the Hartford Whalers, followed by the New Jersey Devils, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, New York Islanders, Philadelphia Flyers, and Buffalo Sabres. Missing the playoffs in the Prince of Wales Conference are the Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, and Boston Bruins. The Winnipeg Jets win the Stanley Cup in 6 games over the Hartford Whalers. After the season, a few trades are made. The Boston Bruins trade Johnny Brusek, Tony Amonte, and Fergie Flaman to the Philadelphia Flyers for Bill Barber, Milan Hajduk, and Rob Ramage. Dallas Stars trade Martin St. Louis, Danny Heatley, and Slavko Fetisov to the Chicago Blackhawks for Drew Doughty, Ivan Cournoyer, and Clark Gillies. Montreal Canadiens trade Rod Gilbert, Aurélie Joliet, and Emile Boucher to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Victor Hedman, Glenn Anderson, and Thomas Vanek. St. Louis Blues trade Howie Morenz, Wade Redden, and Mike Foligno to the Calgary Flames for Braden Point, Dick Clapper, and Rick Middleton. Toronto Maple Leafs trade Bill Kessel, Bob Gainey, and Alex Edler to the LA Kings for Alex Kovalev, Gabriel Landeskog, and Jake Muzzin. The changes in the offseason will have a major impact on the upcoming simulation. In first place in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Calgary Flames, followed by the Colorado Avalanche, Winnipeg Jets, Detroit Red Wings, Edmonton Oilers, St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars, and LA Kings. Missing the playoffs in the Clarence Campbell Conference are the Vancouver Canucks and Chicago Blackhawks. In first place in the Prince of Wales Conference are the Pittsburgh Penguins, followed by the Washington Capitals, Hartford Whalers, New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, and Philadelphia Flyers. Missing the playoffs in the Prince of Wales Conference are the Buffalo Sabres, New York Islanders, and Boston Bruins. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Winnipeg Jets in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Stay tuned for the next episode where there will be major changes coming.